Well, hey, Beth, it's Jamie, that's me here. Welcome back to my channel. Let's go ahead and get into Married at First Sight Houston. All right, y'all. So this episode happened to be much better than the previous episodes that we got. I don't even know what episode we're on. I don't know if it's like 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, somewhere in there, child. I don't know. All right. Now, I did hear that it was going to take us some time before we got to this point where things start to get a bit more entertaining. And I'm glad that we did get here. Okay. And when I say that, I'm really talking about Michaela and Zach, because I just felt like the show was bland without them. Okay. I feel like Michaela and Zach was giving entertainment as well as Johnny and Bao. When it comes to Brett and Ryan, I never have notes for them. Like the first time, whenever they first come on screen, I just never take any notes. So like it don't really be much to talk about when it comes to them. But you know, I scraped up a few things and we'll definitely get into it. But first things first, let's go ahead and start off with Jose and Rachel. Okay, now listen. Rachel says that she like to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning or somewhere close to it so that she can get to the gym because that's her thing. And I thought Jose would be at a place where that's what he wants to, but obviously not. I thought he would be a person that would want to get to the gym and stuff as well because he looks pretty fit. But maybe his hours just ain't in the wee hours of the morning. Maybe it's more so towards the end of the night, you know, middle of the day or later on at night when he decides to go ahead and go to the gym or whatever. So she was like, yeah, you know, I start in 15-minute increments. So it start off at 4 and then it go off at 4:15, then it go off about 4:30. And then when it hit 4:45, that's when I know I got to get up. So he's pressed about this right here because he's like, I'm not looking forward to hearing all of these alarms go off. And I can't necessarily blame him because that's definitely going to be interrupting his sleep pattern. So I don't know if he's going to have to help her get up himself. Like, I don't know what he going to, because some people have issues going straight back to sleep. I'm one of those people, right? Sometimes once I wake up, it's really hard for me to get back to sleep. So he may be like that, but I think Miss Girl gonna have to adjust some stuff. She probably gonna have to get up at 5 or 6. She gonna have to switch up that time frame in which she work out, but we'll see how that goes, okay? Now, Rachel gets to Jose's house, and I must say I hate the decorations. All these crosses around the house, it really doesn't even give me a male energy at all. It definitely gives off a feminine energy, and I'm like, did your mama decorate this house for you? And why does everything in the house look just bland? Okay, like it's like the walls look old, yellow, and the furniture and everything is brown, and it just wasn't giving. But what was interesting was when I saw Ryan's house, he was given the same color scheme, but his house was much bigger and much more beautiful than Jose's. Actually, I think, like I put in my notes, I'm sure I said Ryan had the best house out of everybody. It looked good, but let's move on. Rachel sees his budget board and she kind of like tenses up, like, oh my God, this is the infamous budget board that he has been talking about. He was like, don't you got something like this? She was like, no, I ain't got nothing like that. When have I ever told you I had something like that? You know that I don't know how to handle my finances, okay? I don't write down anything when it comes down to my finances. I just spend the money, okay, and ask questions later. What is all of this? So she's pressed about that. And he said, well, you say you want to get to this place if you don't already have that. So I want to help you get there. I hope that she does allow him to help her get there. But I also feel like she should be able to, everybody works hard. So you should be able to, you know, put aside a good amount of money for yourself to go splurge on yourself because you work for this. It shouldn't always go towards paying bills and paying off other folks. Okay. It should also go towards, you know, having a good time on yourself, whether that's a facial, whether that's shopping, buying you a few bags, some shoes, going, getting you some clothes or whatever it is. Okay. I will hope that, you know, the budget isn't too tight to where she can't go out and do some of the things that she wants. Right. But it seems like one of the things that she truly wants is to travel, but he's not really on that tip because he feels like it's too expensive. But I appreciate the conversation Pastor Kyle had with him when he came over, and I'll get to that part. Okay. He immediately gets to Rachel's house and start noticing the clutter that she had. She got like 3 empty jugs of water bottles, like right there on the side of the counter. And he's like, girl, what is this? Are you about to refill them? Are you about to use them again? Girl, throw them out. Okay. So, that's interesting because it makes me think about myself. Like, I don't have a whole bunch of water bottles, but it makes me think about clothes that I have that I know that I can't fit. And it's really, for me, what I connected back to is I have a hard time of letting go of things. And it's not just clothes, but it's more so situations and stuff like that. I have a hard time of releasing that stuff. So I hope by the end of the year, I get to that place where I'm comfortable and okay with releasing, letting go of clothes, as well as letting go of certain issues and situations or whatever that may have happened in the past. And so I'm wondering if that's the same thing for her holding on to some things like, girl, these things right here have no, monumental purpose in your life, you know what I'm saying? So you really could stand to get rid of some of this stuff that you got. Like she got like 15 pins or whatever from different countries that she's visited or whatever. Now for that part, I wasn't fully upset with her about, because it's pins. They have a place, right? They could be right there on her desk. So there's nothing wrong with having multiple pins. And then this is just like, you know, reminding you of the places that you travel to. But, you know, he didn't understand it, so it was what it was. But let's go ahead and skip on down to Pastor Cal because he stops by. And Rachel speaking on how happy she is with Jose, honey. But she also brings up how she wants to travel, but he feels as though, girl, I would love to do that, but girl, that costs too much money. And I'm bothered by this from Jose, too, because I feel like you say you got a good credit score. If you got good credit score, that means you got some good money somewhere around there, okay? You also work for NASA. So you're making over 100,000. And I think you said that your house was paid off. So you ain't even got no damn mortgage for real, from my understanding. I could be wrong about that, but I could have sworn he had paid that off. I know you paid off your student loan debt. So what is the motherfucking issue for y'all to go on a trip and plan for that accordingly? That's what's not making sense to me. He's talking about how expensive it is, but you make a lot of money. What I don't understand what that is about. Like y'all should be able to take at least a trip 1 year. I mean, one trip a year or something. Girl, that didn't make no sense. But I love that Pastor Cal told them that they pretty much got to find a balance on that. Okay, so I don't know if y'all need to find a trip that's less expensive than what Jose is wanting to pay, and y'all both be able to get what you want out of the deal. Oh, he saved $500, whereas you get to travel for 5 days with your man. Get it together. Pastor Cal asked if they've had sex, and guess what we learned? They did. What Mia said on Real Housewives of Potomac, you did. So they did have sex, and that's exactly what I thought. And while they were sitting up there trying to lie to us on last week and tell people that they have not consummated the marriage, it's like, girl, get out of here with that. Y'all know y'all done zoom in the boom boom. Okay, that's what y'all was over there doing, because y'all a little too touchy-feely. And then they tried to throw us off with the conversation that they had sitting outside on last week's episode, talking about how if he doesn't have certain things in order or whatever, then they're not going to cross the line physically and all this and that. Okay, we see y'all some sneaky as hell, period. Okay, but they crossed the line, and it's like, bro, you wasn't really fooling us for real. But all right, let's move on, honey, because I'm done with Jose and Rachel. Figure out y'all life. Let's get to Mirla and Gil. So they get to his house. I think, it was his house. And he felt the need to swoop her up. And she looked like she was cringing wholeheartedly. Like, oh my God, please put me down. Please put me down. Like, I feel so uncomfortable. Do not touch me. Like, or like what has happened to Mirla in her past? What has happened with her relationships and stuff? Because the way she treats Gil is so awkward to me. It's like, you wanted to be a part of this show because your homegirl hooked you up with this show. Now you get a husband and you want to treat him like he's just that dude over there. She just does not like, I don't like her energy towards him. I don't like it at all. It's very awkward. She keeps talking about they strangers, and it's like, but you finna be married to this man forever. But you also said that you could see yourself possibly withholding your affection and stuff towards him until decision day. And I'm glad that he put a fork in it and said, girl, and if you do that, I'm gonna go ahead and move on, and I'm gonna ask for a divorce. Like, girl, bye. Gil, he checks out Mirla's home. Okay, she has pick galore of herself all throughout the house. He also checks out her expensive closet to see how much her stuff is. He even asked her, what's the insurance on your closet? So I guess he feel the need that they're gonna need to insure her stuff. Anyway, so Mirla meets Gil's dog, and she's not happy about meeting the dog. Gil tried to force her to touch the dog's hand, which she ended up giving in, and she did. I guess it was an okay moment, but this is what pissed me off. Or not pissed me off or bothered me was the fact that he bent down to kiss the dog and definitely allowed the dog to kiss him in his face, kiss him on his lips. And some people do that, and that's fine. It's your dog, whatever, whatever. But when she sat up there and said, so you let the dog kiss you in your face, kiss you on your lips, he was like, no, kiss me on my face, but not in my lips. And I'm like, you a motherfucking lie. You a motherfucking lie. And she looking at him like, oh, serious? Okay, bet. I guarantee you the kiss that I thought I was going to give you, it will be happening even further out than what we think. Okay? So it's like, that dog going to be sleeping in the bed with y'all, girl. Get ready. That dog going to be in the bed with y'all. And he going to be trying to kiss you on your lips because he kisses daddy on the lips too. Okay, that's just what it is. That's the behavior the dog is used to, okay? So Pastor Kyle, he visits. They speak on finances and things, and Mirla isn't willing to shop any less. So because the question came up about whether she'll shop less. She's like, no, I'm not for the shop less for it. What's the point? I already got my money all sorted out. When it comes to my end of the cash, everything is all filtered out and sorted out for me. So whatever I have in savings, I have in savings. Whatever needs to go on bills are in bills. When it comes down to what I'm going to spend is what I mentioned earlier. On myself, I can do that. You know what I'm saying? Because everything else is taken care of. Y'all talking to me as though I can't go and splurge and handle my business. No, I do both. So that's how she's coming off, as though she do both. And some part of me kind of believes that she do. Pastor Cal tells her that she has to switch from the mindset of being single to actually being married, which is true. But the first thing they really need to get an idea on is how they're going to handle their finances. Every marriage is different. A lot of marriages, they handle their finances separately. 2 separate accounts. Here's the list of bills. I got this bill. You got that bill. I got this bill. You got that bill. Some people handle everything's going in a pot. So we'll do automatic withdrawals on these bills here in this account. And then we both got our separate account. And then you have some people that got everything in there. This is our spending money for everything. This is our bill money for everything. Everything is coming out of this one account. So they just need to figure out, how that's gonna work, because Mirla may be able to keep up her lifestyle and not asking that her husband do the same. But if you're asking that he do the same because that's something that you've been doing, but you're not taking into account how much he make versus how much you make, yikes! I don't know how that's gonna work. But let's move on. He's gonna have to come up out that fire station and go get him a job that's making more money, honey, or he's gonna have to try and be a manager or director or whatever you call it over there at the fire station. And what else do we have here? They open up about intimacy. And Gil was ready for this conversation because he ain't been getting not damn piece of an intimacy. Gil ain't been getting nothing. Do you hear me? Straight dust. Okay. So they open up about the intimacy. And Gil, what I noticed is that he was answering majority of the questions and Myrla was saying nothing. She was just sitting there for a second, just watching back and forth. And I'm like, jump in, because the intimacy and the affection that ain't lacking on his end, because he wants to give that. You the one that's withholding that. So you need to jump in and speak up for yourself. Okay, so she finally talks and says that it's about her comfort level. It'll happen when she's ready. And you can't be mad at that. And you can't really be mad at that because everybody got their comfort zone. We understand, it'll happen when you're ready. But if that's the case, why move forward to sign up to have a husband on a show and not show any affection towards him? That makes no sense. Your comfort level was okay with marrying a stranger. So why is your comfort level not okay for you to at least hug on this stranger, give them a kiss on the lips? You got like a kiss on the lips, it's going to kill you. If you decide to withhold sex for a little bit, I can't be fully mad at you on that. But you're withholding a peck? Girl. Okay. What else? Yeah, Mirla says that she can go from now until decision day to withhold her kisses. And Gil says that he'll ask for a divorce because her affection is not matching her words. She says that she likes him. She says this, she says that, but he's not seeing any of that. And I don't blame him if he asks for a divorce. I think in some time we are going to see them cross the line of getting a kiss, but I don't think they're going to be crossing the line of sex. I think if they have crossed the line, if they are still married and they have crossed the line of sex, I think it probably happened once the show finished filming. Those are my thoughts. We have yet to see, but we shall see as the season continues. Let's move on to Brett and Ryan. Okay, Ryan goes to Brett's house and looks excited. Okay, so he all in her cabinets and all trying to see what's going on. Like, girl, show me what's up. What you got up in here? So Brett is making a real connection with her dog Baxter. I loved it though. Baxter is gonna love her some Ryan. Okay. Baxter gonna love it. And I was concerned about his dog. I said, "Ooh, that dog gonna love you so much. Your dog probably gonna be mad as hell with you, honey." So that was cute. They ended up letting the dogs actually meet each other. So everything was cool until Baxter start doing the most, okay? Because Baxter up there thinking like she or he, I don't even know if it's a girl or a boy, but Baxter started feeling as though that dog was just as big as Ryan's dog. And I was like, well, you better pipe down. Yeah, calm down just a little bit for you get big. Because she was over there trying to bite the other dog. I said, well, wait a minute now. Okay. But anyway, so Ryan felt as though he noticed that Brett was getting stressed out just a little bit. She was stressing a little bit about the dogs and wanting the dogs to get along and them not fighting and stuff. So Brett just stresses a lot about everything. Like things that are like this, she makes it like that. And I'm concerned or not concerned, but I'm looking forward to seeing what their first argument is actually going to be about. And how that's going to be escalated. Is it going to be something so small and she's just going to make it a grand old thing, just like she did the most when they were on the dance floor about him teaching her a country dance? She showed her ours. When they got on a flight, she showed her. Like, girl, okay? So that's what it's giving me, that she made simple things be bigger than what they have to be. And Brett just seems, not Brett, but Ryan just seems like he's a person that just be chilling. He just be coasting, like it's not even as serious to him, which also could be a problem too, because if a person is feeling away, just because it's not that serious to you doesn't mean that it's not serious to them. So I kind of see them clashing on how they handle certain situations. But let's move on. Pastor Cal visits, and they let them know that they haven't had sex yet. But I wasn't really clear on whose issue it was that wasn't really ready to move forward in that department. I want to say that it was Brett's, considering the fact that she hasn't messed with, anybody in like 2 or 3 years. So I want to believe that it could be Brett that may have the concern more so than Ryan. Brett opens up saying that he really likes her. Brett opens up saying that how much she really likes Ryan, and she says that she has a crush on him. And I was like, well, that's a good thing. They're moving forward. She really likes him, all this great stuff. But Ryan, he said that he likes her too, but he said something that was so awkward. And I was glad Pastor Cal asked him, like, what you said? He said something like, Pastor Cal asked him, do you like your wife? Okay. He was like, yeah, but it's more, I can look past that. He said something like, I can look past that. And Pastor Cal was like, what? Can you say that again? And Brett ended up explaining it like, yeah, he likes me, but he can see past it to where it can get to love. And so I'm like, that whole thing was confusing for me, because Pastor Cal said, so do you love her or something like that? Like, have you been in love before? And he was like, yeah, and I know what that feeling's like. It's been like this, that, and other. So would you say you're at that place with her? And he was like, no, I'm not at that place with her, but I think we probably could get there. And Pastor Cal, I don't know if he was looking disappointed, but he was just, just looking. But Brett looked disappointed. And I'm like, Brett, y'all only been talking for a week. Y'all only been talking to each other for a week. So, or been married for roughly a week. Love is not just y'all just not gonna fall in love like that. Okay. And if you do, then one of y'all got an issue. Period. Okay. So that's that. What else happened? I think that was it. That was it. That's it. I just wrote love word on to Ryan, and I'm glad Ryan was like, no, I don't feel that way, as he shouldn't. It's only been a week. So she kind of looked like she was a little disappointed for some reason, but he already told you that he liked you, but he had a weird way of saying it. Instead of being blunt, saying yes, he decided to say, yes, something, we can look past that. What the hell do you mean? That was such a confusing, like, girl, let me move on from Brett, because I'm not Brett and Ryan. Because they got me about confused as hell. That's going to be another issue within their relationship, how he goes about wording things. But the weird part is the fact that Brett understands what Ryan is saying. And I'm like, I'm glad you understood, because us Americans, we didn't understand what the hell this man was saying. But okay then, girl. Either way, good luck. Let's move on to Bao and Johnny. Let's get to them real quick. So he likes the new place, but feels like Bao takes the fun out of things. I think she do at times. I think she do. Things that are supposed to be fun, she likes to turn it into like an attack on her, okay? Like he's done something to her. Things that's supposed to be a joke, she's supposed to laugh. She feel like, no, you did this to me, you did that to me. She has a little bit of complaining about herself. Bao is worried about him being very particular. Yeah, he is very particular, just about as particular as you are with going to your Excel spreadsheets and jotting down everything. He's just as well. He's probably even more because he has OCD or whatever. So Johnny wants her to take a shower before she get in the bed. She tells this man, no, she's not going to do it. Bitch, when was the last time you got your ass in the shower? When was the last time you washed your ass? And he's asking you to just hop in the shower before you get in the bed, and you said no. Bao says it's too intense, and she is not going to shower before bed. Yeah, that's what she said. It's too intense. Like what he's asking for is too intense. To wash your ass is too intense. Girl, and Johnny, I feel like Johnny didn't even keep it real with Pastor Cal about the real reason about what he doesn't like about Bao and why it's hard for him to get really physical with her. He gonna come out with some humbug, but let's move on. So Johnny tells her this is cute and all, but he plans on going home. Johnny said this cute and all, but I plan on going home after this. So she's feeling away. A lot of people gave Johnny flack for leaving because they felt as though he should have stayed there and he should have toughed it out. Granted, he could have done that and just not slept in the bed with her, you know, but I kind of was glad he left because I wanted her to see and feel that you are the one out here getting your way and he's not. And he's not. So it's like experience what that's like being at the house by your damn self tonight because I'm finna go. Okay. Now, had the shoe been on the other foot, nobody probably would have said anything about Bao leaving the house. If Johnny wouldn't have gotten in the bed, y'all would have been like, girl, I'm finna go home too. Yeah, girl, you did the right thing. But I feel like I ain't see shit wrong with that man going home, getting in his bed. And if she would have went home and got in her own bed too, I wouldn't have tripped off that either. What else happened? So he tells her that Johnny tells her he's conflicted about he and her at this moment. And y'all know with Johnny, he's working through these things too, because he's used to just dating somebody that he's not legally attached to and he could just walk away from. So it's not that easy. All right. So she says if he needs that much space for that long, it makes her wonder if he's committed. And I'm like, now how dare could you say that? Just because he needs space to himself at this time, you feel as though he's not fully committed. The fact that you are not listening to your husband who wants you to do a simple thing, which is get your ass in the shower. It ain't like he's telling you to quit your job, make a whole career change, move away from somewhere. Like, girl, he just said, hey, can you hop in the shower? Bitch, if you ain't going to be in there for 15, can you at least get in there for 5? God damn. Okay. So I just felt like you're the one that's acting like you're not committed because you're not trying to compromise in this moment. And it's always Johnny seeming like he has to compromise to what the fuck it is Bao wants. But anyway, she hasn't seen him in 24 hours. Okay, this is the next day. She ain't seen him in 24 hours and speaks on being the only mature person in a relationship. I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're fucking not the only mature person in that relationship. If anything, I feel like Johnny is way more mature than you. Girl, good night. So he ended up returning though. He ended up coming back to the house and he brings food. Johnny is reassessing the situation and how he left the house. Johnny speaks on being overwhelmed and he is learning that some things don't matter as much as they originally did. So I'm like, Johnny, you're a person that has OCD, always want things clean, which could be overkill for a person at times. But I don't think you're wrong for wanting a person to hop in the shower to maintain their hygiene. Like, I don't think nothing's wrong with that. So you feeling like, is that something that you feel is not as important as you thought it was before? Now that part should be important because she said the amount of times you shower in a day, she showers over a course of a few weeks. Girl, I ain't got time for her. And then I also feel like, I just don't like that he's the one compromising, she isn't. And I feel like if you let her get away with so much shit, she gonna get away with a whole lot of stuff. And that's not fair to him. And he's gonna start resenting her in their relationship. And I just don't think that's cool. What else happened? He thinks they will grow to complement each other. The only way y'all gonna grow to complement each other is if she sit up there and make some changes about herself. Period. They brush their teeth and realize they brush their teeth the same. I said, okay, that's cute. Y'all brush y'all teeth the same, but y'all don't wash y'all ass the same. So what else is going on? Let's move on, okay? Johnny compromises with her and asks her, do you want to share this bed? She said, I would like to share the bed. If you want to share the bed, I would like to share it with you. And so they get in the bed. He actually puts his hands on her or whatever. But the way he was looking at her made me think that he was going to regret his decision about laying in dirt with her. But all in all, they ended up kissing each other and moving on. Okay, so they go to check out each other's houses, and what we learned is that they both have a bidet. Y'all not gonna sit up here and make me believe that Val uses her bidet. She does not. I do not care. Y'all not gonna make me believe that, okay? Johnny said that he got one, but he has it on his personal bathroom because he don't want everybody using his. I said, I'm not even gonna blame Johnny for that. It looked like Val was about to have an issue with that too. I'm sorry. Y'all stands about, if anybody likes Val, I'm questioning because this don't make no sense. Let's move on. Pastor Cal visits, okay? She speaks on Johnny not initiating physical touch with her. But she wasn't a physical or an affectionate person in the beginning, right? Didn't she say that? Or maybe I got that mixed up. Pastor Cal wants Val to open up about why he can't get physical. And it was a struggle for him because he didn't want to hurt her feelings. You know why? Because she's going to make him feel a way about saying what it is that he wants to say and being honest about that. So what else happened? The truth is, in my opinion, the reason why is because she don't wash her ass. And it could be other reasons, but I feel like that's the number one, especially for a person that's always clean, shower. You know, I think, yeah, that's one thing there. Johnny tells her when she gets happy and excited, she acts like a kid. She gets all giddy. And then she does this thing where she kind of look up to him like, can I have, you know, she looks up at him like he's a kid. And I can understand why he would cringe about that because not all men are out here trying to be your mate and your father figure. Hello? Not all men are out here trying to play that role. They're trying to be your man and just that. I don't want that from somebody that I'm supposed to be desiring in a sexual way to talk to me like they're a child. Okay, so yeah, no. What else happened? Pastor Cal tells him, no, Pastor Cal tells him, he tells Johnny that that's a Johnny issue and not a Val issue. And I said, you a motherfucking lie. Okay, now just because you got pastor in front of your name and you out here and they got you as a quote unquote therapist or whatever they got you as an expert on this show does not mean your advice is always right, because in this moment you wrong as fuck. For him to tell Johnny that that's his problem and not a Val problem, and then tell Val that she don't need to change anything about herself. You don't need to change anything about yourself, but it's more so for him to figure his stuff out. You got people fucked up. Okay, absolutely not. Those are lies. And I'm like, why is Val the one having to compromise? Not Val, but Johnny. Why is Johnny the one having to compromise? Why is Johnny the one having to change himself to fit into this relationship with this hoe? And Pastor Cal, you gave your thoughts, at least from what it looked like on our end, and you ain't even get the full scope. But I blame Johnny for that because Johnny did not tell him everything that he wanted to say. And I wish he would have. I wish he would have laid it all out. Hey, it's a couple of things that I don't like that she does. But he named one thing. And then what he did was he tried to name the lightest thing that he could to still not penetrate a wound within her and make her too upset or to hurt her feelings too much. So he tried to give the lightest thing. Child, good night and goodbye. And we all know it's the washing the ass part, because the fact that she told him it was too intense and she wasn't going to do that or whatever so he can forget about it, that is what broke the back for him in that moment to say, listen, this is cute, but I'm finna go to home. Okay, I'm going home tonight. So I just wanted him to keep it 100, keep it honest, but she has already put him in a position where he can't even be vocal with her without hurting her damn feelings or feeling like he's the one that's in the wrong. And then when you have Pastor Cal come in and reinforce that, what the hell? That's probably why he's going to be crying on Jose's shoulder on next week. And you know, Jose was enjoying that, but we're going to go ahead and move on, honey. I ain't like that. Y'all leave y'all thoughts and comments down below on Johnny, Val, and the advice that Pastor Cal gave to him. Let's move on to Zack and Michaela, honey. Okay, so Zack told Michaela he was positive, right? Because, you know, he was sick from the virus. So he said, I'm positive or whatever. And then he ended up surprising her. He was negative. He brought her some roses and stuff. It was super cute. So he's looking at her place, checking it out or whatever. He sees that she got their photo over there on the little mantle or wherever it is. So that was really cute, okay? It's their 1 week anniversary. So she definitely gave him a gift or whatever. And that was all nice. And I guess it was kind of like a welcome home type thing too, because he's no longer sick. So that was great, okay? Okay, so Zach wants to know if Michaela is a person that storms off when they're talking, right? Because he's trying to figure out what's going to be our first argument and stuff. He's trying to, just get to know her more. And she says, no, that's abusive and all. Zach is looking forward to their first fight. And she was like, oh, really? Now, mind y'all, keep this in mind. She says she's not a person that leaves. Okay, when times get tough, when they get into an argument or anything like that, she said that's not something that she does. She feels as though that's a bit abusive. Okay, so that's that. He's looking forward to the first fight. So let's move on. Michaela wakes up the next morning, right? And Zach is nowhere in sight, and neither is his dog. So she's confused, trying to figure out what the hell is going on. She don't know where he is, so she goes into her room and she packs up all of her stuff. And she ends up leaving the house. So she's really upset. But before she did that, I believe she ended up throwing like a Clorox bottle or something. She took it and threw it. I was like, oh, girl. So she was definitely upset with him. What else took place? Because he didn't call her. He didn't text her. She had no notification about where he was. Nothing. She didn't know nothing. And I'm like, so you couldn't call him yourself? Or did you call him and he didn't answer? Could it be that if he and the dog is gone, that he could have been out walking the dog? Like, you couldn't come up with any other alternatives, that you went straight towards the fact that he may have abandoned you in that moment. And so you decided to leave, and then he lacked communication at the same time. Okay, got it. She has things that she has to work through. Okay, let's move on. So she get back to the house because they have a meeting with Pastor Cal, right? She tells him she's mad because he was acting like, let's just get into it. So she tells him she's mad that they weren't there when he was supposed to be coming to bed right after he dealt with the dog and stuff. So then Zach says that he fell asleep and then took her to the daycare. And I'm like, Zach, where the did you fall asleep at? Did you take the dog off? You're supposed to be walking the dog or get the dog situated, make sure the dog go to sleep and then come to bed. How the hell you end up all the way outside the house? Where did you go to sleep at? So did you take this dog all the way back to your house and you fell asleep at your house? What kind of was that? That didn't make no sense. Let us find out that you got somebody else out here, Zach. That didn't make no sense. So Zach says he fell asleep. Then he took her to daycare that morning. He says he's sorry, she mad, but it was a reason behind why he didn't bother her. What do you mean there's a reason behind why you didn't bother her? It takes nothing for you to let your mate know, like, hey, I'm still out, I'm walking the dog or whatever. Or just call her in this morning, like, hey, my bad, I fell asleep last night. I'm about to drop the dog off. I'll be there in a few minutes, whatever. You want some breakfast or something? Yeah. Okay. He says, no, she says she thinks it was intentional. Michaela wants to be considered when he makes his decisions. I said I think it was intentional as well. And what gives me the vibe that it was intentional was the smirk on his face that he was trying to hide, because he was also trying to hide not laughing, not busting out laughing in her face, because everything that he did was definitely intentional, done on purpose to get a reaction out of her, to see how she's going to react moving forward. That's troubling. That just kind of makes me a little concerned about Zach. And I love that she kind of mentioned to him that she has a particular idea of who he is as a man. And now she's seeing that could potentially be altered. And I'm like, yeah, it puts you back into perspective. Like, I think he's amazing. I think he's this. I think he's that. But now I think I need to get to know him a bit more, because I could have been selling myself a quote unquote idea of who I think he is when that's not who he is. And I just felt like I just didn't like what he did. I felt like that was, I don't know, that was dangerous. That made me feel like you're going to piss her off again in the future. You're going to piss her off again in the future just to see how she's going to respond to it. And then based on how she's responding to things, lets you know how far you can take it with getting away with shit that you do. All right, let's move on. Zack tells her, which is another thing I did not like that he did. Zack says he's moving on from the conversation because he's done with it. He said, I can't sit in this space. I got to move on from the conversation. What? I love that she said, is there a resolve? You don't get to tell me that you're going to move on from the motherfucking conversation that we ain't got no resolve from it. If anything, you just trying to avoid talking about it. Are you serious? No, sir. No, we're not doing that. So I didn't like that either. Pastor Cal arrives. She just staring because she looking like she ready to pop off on him. Child, when he heard that don't knock, he couldn't get up quick enough to go answer it because he was trying to get out of the line of fire. But you caused it, though. You did it. So now you got to sit in it. You got to sit in it and you got to deal with the tough conversations. And every time you run, you're only going to make it difficult for yourself. Don't set up a marriage to where y'all have issues, y'all don't discuss it, and then the next week y'all back to lovey-dovey and just act like this never happened because it's going to show up again. And y'all are so lucky that y'all first argument that y'all had, Pastor Cal was there to help y'all out. But Pastor Cal not going to always be there to help y'all work through these issues, okay? So Zack hyping up Michaela, despite the argument, like, I think you're great, I think you're this, despite the argument or whatever, like, he just trying to praise her. Meanwhile, she looking at him like, nigga, I know the fuck. So she giving him these squinting eyes. Michaela does act childish as well. I didn't like that she was doing that. Some part of me kind of understood, like, you know, we got an issue, you over here trying to skirt over stuff or whatever, but at the same time, it was like, girl, chill out. All right. So Zack explains to her what happened, and he tells her he doesn't like that he is being accused of lying, and he doesn't like, so he don't like that. And I understand, I can understand it. Like, don't, if I'm telling you what it is, don't sit up here and say that I'm lying. Okay. And that energy that she's giving him is coming from how she was treated in past experiences. So she ends up opening up, she tears up, and Pastor Carol's like, speak, tell him what it is. It was so awkward to see her wanting him close, but pushing him away at the same time. Right. I guess it was her just wanting to feel wanted, wanting to know that somebody cares. She says that she's scared, she's nervous about her safety and her security. You know, it was her dad that, you know, always protected, provided her all of that, provided for her everything, right? But ever since he's left, she hasn't had that in her life. That's something she's yearned for, but she hasn't had that. And then for him to kind of leave her alone or whatever, you know, it made her feel away. And for him to lack communication on that front as well made her feel away. But I mean, I don't know. Because it's like, Michaela, you went straight to like, he did something to you when you left the house. Why you ain't think about the fact that, like, dang, I hope he's okay. Like, did he get in an accident? Like, oh my God, like, her mind didn't even go there. Like, I know he just had COVID. Did he faint somewhere? Did he fall out? It was like your mind immediately went to, he on some FS. He done left. He done skipped out on me. He done did. You know, and obviously that's from her past. She got to work through that. She got to be able to consider the possibility that there is something else until he shows you something different. Like, those are my thoughts on that. What I'm seeing is that Michaela really doesn't want to be left alone as much as she's trying to push him away. She's pushing him away in hopes that he does come closer to her. But Zack is at a place where he doesn't want to be rejected. So if you're sitting up here pushing away and kind of rejecting him, it's not going to make him come closer. But all of this is going to be understood once you learn your man and your man learns you. Okay. So like I said, they were really lucky to have Pastor Cal in that moment to help them out. Like I said this already. I just felt like every time Zack was trying to show Michaela some type of support, she was pushing him away. Like, he said he wants to be here, he wants to support her through this and that. And then she says, well, no, I don't think that's your job. I don't think you should have to do that. I don't think, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, but that's what you want though, right? You want him to be able to support you when you low and all of that. You don't have your dad, you know what I'm saying? Like, he want to be there to support you, and that's what you want. But then you tell him it's not his job. I'm like, what the fuck? What is happening? What is happening? And so Pastor Cal said, girl, don't say that. Like, that's what you want. Like, that's why you got married. Like, that's what you want. Don't say that. So Michaela got some deep-rooted issues, baby. And I feel like it's not just about her father passing. I feel like it's amongst other things that she got going on. For her sister them to call her Hurricane K, I don't think that she was Hurricane K after her dad passed. I think she was like that before her dad passed. So it's other deep-rooted issues. But again, she also spoke on her parents not being great examples of how to handle arguments and conflicts and stuff amongst each other. So it's definitely having something to do with that as well. But y'all leave y'all thoughts and comments down below. I know this review was long. Thank you guys so much for hanging in there with me. Leave your thoughts and comments down below on Zack and Michaela, your overall thoughts about that. Johnny and Bow and Pastor Cal's thoughts. Leave your thoughts on Brett and Ryan, whatever thoughts you can squeeze out. Also leave your thoughts on Mirla and Gil, as well as Jose and Rachel. I'm Jamie, that's me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos, follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.